Is it possible to go from where you are right now to being one of the best lacrosse players in your team practically overnight? Just by fixing two simple things? That's it, just two things. And I'll tell you about them in just a second. But first, if you're the type of youth or high school lacrosse player that struggles with dodging past your defender, getting open, creating easy scoring opportunities, playing rock solid defense, and even the thought of putting the stick in your offhand makes you sick to your stomach, then this training series is for you, so keep watching. Well, hey guys, I'm pro lacrosse player Mike Kimmel, and I'm here with Coach Jesse Miller from BTB Lacrosse.
Yeah, and in today's video, we're going to show you the simple secret to running circles around your opponent and also have a ton of fun while doing it. Because you're going to discover how to avoid the mistakes that you and virtually all your peers are making every single day.
While I'm a pro lacrosse player now, I used to be in your shoes not too long ago, and I can definitely say that the two mistakes we talk about in these videos are what's absolutely killing your game and not allowing you to get to the next level.
And the good news is, there's actually two fixes that will make these problems go away practically overnight and to keep them from ever coming back. And here they are. First, you guys are struggling with your offhand. It's simply not enough to make you a threat, a guy who can go either way and blow past his defenders. Second, youth and high school guys simply don't understand how to play really well off ball. That means the moves and decisions that you make when the ball isn't in your stick.
And again, I'll tell you as a pro, it's not about being the biggest or strongest guy or being able to shoot the ball 100 miles an hour. It's these two simple fixes that are going to make you get to the next level. It's your off-ball play and your offhand. That's it. So that's what this free training is going to fix. So the free training is divided up into 3 videos, and here's what we're going to do. We're going to show you exactly how and why these two things are holding you back. Then we're going to reveal the secret formula for transforming your offhand into your biggest weapon. You're going to blow past defenders and definitely score way more goals. Then we'll do the exact same thing for the off-ball play. Walk you through the formula for becoming an off-ball monster. So you'll be incredibly hard to defend, get open with ease, and create scoring opportunities for your team. Now in a few seconds, a box is going to pop up onto your screen. We ask that you put in your email. It's going to allow us to send you the next 2 training sessions directly into your inbox in the next few days once they're ready. So please enter your email and let's get started right away.
So get super pumped up because we're going to get on the field right now with Mike Kimmel and we're going to turn you guys into total lacrosse warriors. Mike, great to have you here, man. So we got Strong Hand Sam that we just explained. Tell us about some of his biggest problems.
The biggest problem about being a strong hand Sam is really, as an offensive player, you don't want to be predictable. And I think if you only have one hand that you can go to, not only does it limit your options in terms of cutting the field in half, but it also just makes you predictable in terms of the slides know where you're coming from, the defender knows where you want to go, and really limits you from getting any separation.
Right, exactly. So with Strong Hand Sam, and we got our friend Strong Hand Sam right here, why don't you show some of the specific ways that being a strong hand Sam can hurt you when cutting?
So the first scenario we're going to run over is when strong hand Sam's in the game and the ball's on, let's pretend the ball's on the bottom right here with an attackman. Okay, strong hand Sam is only confident in his right hand, and this is a perfect time. He should be able to cut left-handed to me for an easy goal. But a lot of times with younger players, if they don't practice and get on the wall and work on their stick work and they only have one hand that they're confident with, they're going to stand in space and they're going to be sitting there not really helping their team out. So another thing is if we're even going to make this cut, but we're only going to keep it in our right hand, you notice when strong hand Sam catches it, his stick's to the inside where all the defense is. What he wants to do is put the stick in his left hand, move to the open space, and catch it. And if you notice right here, his stick's to the outside, the defender's probably going to be chasing him or all the defense is inside, and they're not going to be able to good check off. But again, the biggest problem is if you don't work on this stuff at home, you're just not going to have confidence in the game and you're never going to make that cut to set yourself up.
So if you're a youth player, a high school player, you should start working on it right away to something you should probably consider.
Yeah, the only way to get good at it is to practice it and really work on drills where you're cutting to a guy and practicing full speed with your feet moving.
Okay.
It's the only way to get confident.
The other big problem with strong hand Sam is when he's dodging. Can you elaborate on what you see out there, as a top professional in the game?
Yeah, one thing we'll do right now is let's demonstrate. We're going to have a couple of youth guys come out and walk through a drill with us and really just kind of break down the move and how it really limits you if you can only go to one side.
Okay, perfect.
All right, so we have strong hand Sam here with the ball, and strong hand Sam is a righty. A couple problems here is when he goes to make his move, a team's going to quickly figure out that he's all right-handed. Now, if you notice the defender here, he's doing a good job. He's standing up top on top side. He's taking away his right hand. The problem is strong hand Sam wants to go this way. And what's the defender doing? The defender's sliding upfield and taking away that strong hand. The defense knows he's going right-handed, and there's all this space. Look at all this space he could move into, but he doesn't want to because he's not confident in putting it in his offhand. All right, so now we're just going to, again, talking about strong hand Sam here. If I'm all right-handed and I'm dodging here, we talked about all this space over to our side over here to our left. But if I'm strong hand Sam and I'm coming down, I'm going to try and force as hard as I can to go right-handed. And this guy's taught to force me down the alley. The good thing is if you work on your offhand and you practice it, you can really set up your defender. As an offensive player, you don't want to be predictable. So what you want to do is you want to take a good angle at your defender, set him up like you're going strong hand Sam to your right, and that's when you can take all this space going down the alley to either shoot or pass it.
All right, Mike. So we just talked about strong hand Sam, and we talked about how he has two main problems. He can't go to his offhand, so that limits him when he's cutting, and it also limits him when he's dodging. The good news is I think you have some solutions for us.
All right, so there's 3 simple fixes. The first is split separation. The second is don't be a T-Rex pusher. And the third is box it.
So let's take a step back and really quickly dive into what Mike just said about strong hand Sam, because he made some incredibly important points that I want you to write down. Mike demonstrated how strong hand Sam is so dependent on his strong hand that even when he is trying to cut and receive passes from his teammates, he hardly ever catches it. And even if Sam does catch the ball, he immediately loses it. The defenseman's stick is just right there, waiting to throw a check. Mike also made another super important point. He said that defenses are taught to push or funnel people down the alley. They play it that way on purpose. It looks really inviting, and they want you to go that way. So if you can only dodge with your strong hand, you're walking right into their trap. Literally every single step you take. You decrease your angle on the goal, and you limit your opportunities to feed, pass, or score. And what's really probably the most soul-crushing thing about being a strong hand Sam is that as you continue playing lacrosse throughout your career, you're going to run into better and better defenders. Those defenders are going to figure out really quickly that you're a strong hand Sam. And it's going to be so easy for them to just focus on your strong side and just completely shut you down.
Now look, if Sam fixes offhand, then the whole field opens up for him. He's going to get open with ease. See, because he has 2 options instead of 1. That's going to put tons of pressure on the defense because they don't know which way he's going to go. And that just creates a little bit of doubt that makes the defender a step or 2 slow, allowing Sam to easily get by. And let's go back to the bit about how defenses are taught to push you down the alleys. If you come across the middle of the field, you mess up their slide package. So being able to drive to your offhand can just implode defenses. Okay, so here's the last thing I want to touch on before we get back out on the field with Mike. Mike also kind of gave you a teaser about the exact 3-step process that you need to follow if you want to fix these problems in your game practically overnight. He said you need split separation, you need to not be a T-Rex pusher, and you need to box it. And Mike is going to walk you through those exact 3 steps later on. But first, I'm going to go back out on the field with Mike, and we're going to talk to you about another one of our young players, Statue Steve.
Now our player is no longer strong hand Sam. He's now playing the role of Statue Steve. So we want to talk about Statue Steve and the problems that he faces on the lacrosse field. So Mike, let's talk about Statue Steve. What are some of the things that he struggles with on the lacrosse field?
There's multiple things. One is that he's never really cutting into open space to get a shot. He's also never setting himself up by just constantly being in motion to put himself in good positions to either feed a teammate or score a goal.
So as a result, he's just really easy to guard.
Yeah, he's really only effective when the ball in his stick, which is really a small portion of the game, and that all that other time he's not effective. He's really not setting himself up to be a good dodger because he's kind of standing in one place, waving his stick, saying, here, throw it here, but as we all know, that doesn't really work.
And the essence of it is that he's just not being a dynamic off-ball player.
Exactly.
One of the things about Statue Steve is that he really doesn't react well to his teammates, the spacing with his teammates within the team offense, and hence the name Statue Steve. He ends up just standing there like a statue, kind of getting in the way all the time. So if he were to play really well off ball, what are some of the benefits that Statue Steve would have for himself and for the team offense?
A couple things. One, you get if you're not Statue Steve and you're willing to move to open space, you can find that you score a lot of easy goals, right? So it's really hard to run by a defender that's pounding on you, that's always being the guy dodging. But a lot of times, if you're willing to move and cut when there's open space, you can actually score a lot of easy goals.
Especially nowadays with a lot of teams sliding quickly, if you're able to move, you're going to get some easy shots, whereas dodging is a lot harder to score.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about Statue Steve within the team offense.
Yeah, so you always want to be a consummate team player and make sure you're focusing on the team. if you can learn to cut the right way and to be confident in cutting, there's so much benefit of it, because not everyone's going to be the best athlete. So people watching this video, you might not be the best athlete. You might not be able to run by someone in a one-on-one situation. But every team needs a guy that can move off ball, that can score goals on the finishing end.
And there's a lot of ways that manifests itself. Picking for the ball, clearing through when a Dodger's dodging near you, obviously creating a catching lane by moving into space like you mentioned before. So that's great.
All right, you just heard it from one of the absolute top middies in the MLL. Youth and high school players simply don't play well off the ball. The last piece I want you to write down that Mike said, because it's so important. He said you don't have to be the best athlete. Even if you aren't the biggest or the strongest or the fastest guy, working on your off-ball play and having the confidence to make all the moves and decisions, that's what propels you up to that elite level. All right, well, let's jump back out on the field. Mike's going to tell you exactly the 3 things you need to work on to stop being a Statue Steve.
So the 3 fixes are: create the catching lane, inflict separation anxiety, and have a quick release in the quad threat position.
All right, there you have it. Write down those 3 things. I know your writing hand is probably getting a little bit cramped at this point, but that's okay, because we're almost done. Because in the next video that's coming in just 2 short days, we're going to be back out on the field here with Mike, and he's going to walk you through all the fixes that he just prescribed.
But don't close the video just yet, because Mike has some homework that he wants to assign to you, that he wants you to practice for a few minutes every night until you watch the next training video. Oh, and he's got a question that he wants to ask you too. So let's get back on the field with Mike.
Okay, so the homework is we're going to go through the split separation, the footwork that goes into split separation, and also into inflicting that separation anxiety.
All right, so the homework we're going to assign to you is working on our split separation. So we don't need a stick for this, and we're going to line up.
Spread out here.
We're going to line up over here.
Okay.
So I'll hop behind me, hop in line. Again, we talked about it before. It's really important. Okay, we're in our athletic stance. Knees are bent, balls are our feet. We're going to lead with our right foot step. Go ahead. Then we're going to take 2 more steps. 1, 2, plant here, and then explode out. All right, so I want you guys to work on those steps in really slow motion, and then eventually you guys are going to build up to full speed. So I'd say work on this at least 5 minutes a night.
Okay, let's all 3 of us do it together and see if we can knock it out. We'll do it synchronized here. On you, Mike.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3.
So now we're going to do it all full speed. And remember, I mean, I've got khakis on, so you guys can do this in your bedroom at home. You can do this out in your front yard, whatever. So if I can do it, you guys can do it too. On you, Mike.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Okay, boys, Mike's just got one final question for you before we let you go for today.
Yeah, all I ask is that you add a comment to the video below and let us know if you see a part of Strong Hand Sam or Statue Steve in your game. We'd love to hear what those comments are. And the second thing is we'd love to hear what you think a T-Rex pusher is and what that looks like.